Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Michigan International Speedway for the Robert Hill Jr. 180 here in the RevLimit Workshop Development Series presented by DesignPing, where we finally find out who our 2025B champion will be. Uh, Expecting to see some overlay elements popping up here soon, but as a reminder, we'll start with the grid. On the pole, we've got Frank Fody with Jay Connor starting in second. Jay Connor, one of our championship four. Caleb Becumer, another of the four, starting in third. Andrew Hardcastle in fourth. Our third of the championship four, Cale Pocock, is starting in fifth. Harrison Talon starting in sixth place. Connor Thompson in seventh. Jacob Adams in eighth. Dylan Javier starting ninth. And Jaden Racimus rounding out the top 10 on row 5. Will, you want to take the next?
Yeah, absolutely. Here is the final of our championship four. A little bit out of position for him. Justin Vandermeer starts 11th. Brent Jones will be on his outside with a 39.5 flat in position number 12. Behind them, Gavin Higgins in P13 and Chris Albrecht in 14th, just 5 milliseconds behind him. Former Daytona 500 winner Kendall Noah Player starts in the top 15 with Austin and Abnett. For Lake Norn on his outside, Dominic Wright for Abbott Motorsports has fueled up Gavin Hibbs for company on row number 9, rounding out the top 20. Strictly Stocks Colbert and Do Good Motorsports and ERN Zone Dave Huckleberry. And rounding out the grid for Fueled Up Racing, Kurt Gibson in P21, Mitch Javier in position 22 in car number 58. Joshua Osborne starts 23rd. Pierce Hauser starts 24th, with Joe Francis and Corey Abbott in 25th and 26th having not set a lap time.
Yeah, and to go back to our normal introduction, my name's Alayton Norgard. Joining me is William White as race control, Carlos Acosta manning the cameras. Once again, this is the Robert Hill Jr. 180. Robert, of course, the godfather of ARCA in Elite, kind of stepped back more recently, but was responsible for getting this off the ground and doing a lot of the early broadcasting, and something that all of us have always been grateful for.
Yeah, it definitely helped get the series up and running. Of course, its first season in its modern iteration, back then known as the Pit Pass Network ARCA series, in 2023A, which is where a lot of people, including myself, made our Elite debuts. And of course, that brings us to today in its 6th season, looking to crown its 6th champion. And we have got 4 very worthy drivers vying for the crown. And well, it's not long before we take green for the first of 90 laps here tonight.
And as we get started, we don't want to forget this week. Let's get some race picks out of the way. Will, how about you go first?
I am going to say that the race is going to be won by someone who isn't in the Championship 4. I am going to go for Jacob Adams in the 48 to get it done tonight.
All right. I'm going to go with Gavin Hibbs getting a win out of spite after missing the Championship 4. Carlos, who do you got?
I'm putting all my money on Caleb Pocock on winning the championship in the race.
I can't go wrong with that pick. DA Abbott three-peat here, with myself and Will being the previous 2 ARCA champions. So
no pressure, Kale.
I mean, that's who I'm pulling for. I'll be a little biased here, but
yeah,
we are in the green. Jay Connor on the outside is going to take the lead here from Frank Fody on this first lap. Andrew Hardcastle potentially following through on the outside up into second place, getting some good runs on the outside. It was sounding during practice like that was going to be the stronger line. I'm a little curious how that's going to work in terms of tire wear. These guys getting pretty close here up at the front, but avoiding any contact. Frank Fody does get a good run through 1 and 2 to challenge Jay, but Jay with that big run off the corner on the high side, pulling along Andrew Hardcastle and Harrison Talon. I think we'll see Jay able to hold on to the lead here for several laps. Cale Pocock winning championship 4 and Caleb Bekemer both kind of looking a little bit stuck on the bottom. Caleb going 3 wide with Frank Foti and Jaden Racimus. Plenty wide track to go 3 wide, but especially off of 2, it really kind of narrows up. Van der Merel started pretty far back relative to the other championship drivers, but he is right there, second of the 4 right now. Almost 3 wide with Cale Pocock and Cale Bekemer, but they kind of sort themselves out back to 2 wide with Cale and Racimus and Van der Merel. Yeah, off to a good start here. I would expect to see a decent green flag run with how Michigan has typically raced for us here in Elite, at least in ARCA, but you never know when that caution will come.
Well, I'll tell you what, we nearly had it. There was trouble at the start on lap number 3 involving the 58 and the 88, Mitch Avia and Kurt Gibson there getting into it, going into turn number 1. That's forced Kurt Gibson down pit lane with heavy damage. There you can see that his front right tyre completely detached. His day's done already. He is out of the race on lap 4 of 90. Not the start that he will have wanted. So, not had a clean start necessarily. We're already down 1 driver, but we still remain caution-free, as you mentioned. Alayton Jay Connor still in the lead, but barely a car length over Jacob Adams.
Yep, I have a caution here.
Oh, that's big trouble.
Connor
through
Thompson
turns 1
and Cale
2.
Pocock getting together. Cale spinning down into the grass afterwards. No significant damage to any cars that I saw, but I would expect to see at least Cale come down pit road for potential. Yeah, he's got damage on his right front. See what happened here. Just 3 wide, and Cale and Connor came together. Hard to tell from that angle who kind of initiated the contact there, but definitely not the start to the race that Cale wanted to see. But we see Gavin Hibbs going for the move down. Cale just kind of drifts up a little bit on entry, and Connor was also coming down at the same time. So I would expect that's going to be a racing deal once Will returns. But yeah, just 2 cars going for the same bit of track. But fortunately, like I said, not a lot of damage to anyone. Kurt Gibson's really the one to suffer here early on in this race as far as damage goes, but probably less than 30 seconds of repairs for everyone based on the contact that I saw. I could be wrong, but never quite know. But let's go ahead and get one of our sponsors out of the way. DesignPing is a design agency that specializes in creating websites and digital content that not only look incredible, but also enable your business to outperform all of your competitors. Make sure you check out DesignPing.com to learn more.
So, let's take a see. I think I have that replay set up, but it does look like you actually do have a couple people going down pit road, including the caution recipients.
I'm a little surprised we aren't seeing more cars come down pit road. The way, in my experience at Michigan, the tires fall off very quickly. So anyone staying out here is going to be at a pretty big disadvantage as we go back to green. Here's that replay of what happened with Kurt Gibson. Mitch Havir makes some contact with him going into turn 1. Race control, Will did make a call on that, and he's back. Will, what was your call on those 2 incidents that we saw?
Yeah, so that first incident we didn't initially catch on the broadcast feed, but that I saw on my own client side was between Kurt Gibson and Mitch Avia that we might have seen.
We just put that on.
Yeah, so that was a tally for the 58, just came up into the side of the 88. There was a good bit of netcode, but I kind of observed that I think the contact would have happened regardless. So with that. I think, I don't know if that's ended the 88's race, but he could definitely count as severe damage with only 3 wheels on his wagon. So that was a tally for the 58. For the incident between Connor and Championship 4 contender Kel Pocock, that was a no call. They were kind of coming in 3 wide a little bit late there. Nothing that Gavin Hibbs did wrong. He's running his own race, and I think everyone held their line. But Kale has to accommodate for both of them. I think himself and the 30 kind of just converged on each other a bit, and again there was a good bit of netcode between the pair, so no fault was assessed for either party for that caution incident.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like from our viewing of that replay as well. We are 1 to green, and on the backstretch currently, my line was rewound a little bit. I can't speak. But about 30 seconds to the green flag here, probably 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's coming into turn 3 now. So Jay Connor leads the race and leads the championship. He's elected to take the high side. So I think he liked, we were seeing in that early run, the outsider really was starting to move. They obviously have a higher minimum speed around the high side to, I suppose, accommodate for the fact of doing more distance around the racetrack, maybe doing a bit more damage to your tyres. That's something we'll have to wait and see how that progresses. But they were moving in packs. You had Andrew Harcastle, who restarts in P4, pushing Jay almost around the track, and with Jay now in control of the restart, I'm sure the outside's really going to have a good advantage here as we come to the green. Jay Connor does step on it, gets a good jump in front of the entire field here. He's clear of Jacob Adams should he want to take the low line. 3 wide behind them with Corey Abbott as well. Jacob Adams looking to take P2. Andrew Harcastle in 3rd. Connor does swoop down. It's clear. We'll see what line he elects to take, where he starts to maybe break some slipstream coming down the back straight. Joshua Osborne shoots out stage right, but manages to keep that car under control. Jay Connor retains the lead into turn 3.
And it's worth noting, starting in 19th place, I believe, is where our first fresh tires are in this field. So it'll be interesting to see if they are able to translate that into some forward movement through the field here. Right now, we did have 2 cars that did pit, but they didn't take tires, or at least didn't take 4. May have been fuel only, and those were Joe Francis and Colbert. I was right behind the 3 wide with Corey Abbott and Josh Osborne on the restart, and I had a bit of a gap for him in front of them. So those fresh tires, the first of which is Mitch Javier now, kind of lost some ground early on, but starting to get caught up with the pack and might see some action with that tire differential. We do have a good number of tires here tonight, with 5 sets total, I believe, so 4 available in the pits. There are plenty of tires for making a lot of stops here tonight. Cale Pocock, after that early contact, up to 19th right now. Second car on fresh tires. Mitch Javier still being the lead one, and he is working his way up pretty rapidly, right around the outside wall, taking cars 3 wide up that high, and he's up to 13th place right now, and still making some forward progress.
Yeah, seeing a lot of even 4 wide moving around the wall here at Michigan. The draft really coming into effect. We are seeing a lot of draft breaking from Jay Connor down the front straight. You'll see Harrison Talon and Jaden Racines, one of those guys, really following in tow behind him. I'm sure you'll see it again this time, just trying to almost work the lanes. This is really looking more like a super speedway. Harrison Talon following in the tire tracks, and now potentially looking for the lead. Harrison Talon pulls to the inside of Jay Connor. We'll see if he can get the move done. The outside does have momentum. We'll see if Gavin Hibbs, Fueled Up Racing teammate with Harrison Talon, chooses to go with him or not, or whether he tries to make it 3 wide. I think that is what we're going to see, as Harrison Talon doesn't have the best run out of turn 2, and he's going to lose positions for Jacob Adams and Jaden Racines. both getting past him nearly 4 wide into turn 3.
Yeah, Gavin Hibbs really wanted to stick his nose in there 3 wide off the exit of 2, but that space between Harrison Talon and Jay Connor was just not big enough, and it was closing, so he made the right call in backing off a little bit there. As Jacob Adams now makes the move on Jay Connor to take the lead. Does glide up a bit, lost a bit of momentum from that. We'll see if Jay wants to stay in line. He gets in the wall off two, he loses that momentum that he did have. So he will stay in line. Jaden Racine is right behind him. Did have a bit of a run, decided not to take it, and now Gavin Hibbs, the outside of Jaden, making the move on the what looks to be the stronger line for making passes. Up into 3rd place is Gavin Hibbs. And we'll see if he is able to, or if he wants to try and do anything with it here into 1 and 2. Yeah, he takes the high line around the outside of Jay Connor. That's going to allow him to complete that pass here down the backstretch as Jay loses the draft there. Plots in front of Jaden. And Hibbs going for the move right away on the inside of Jacob Adams. Should slide up in front and secure that position down the front straight. If Jacob wants to make try to take it back, he'll have to drop down to the inside, but does not happen. They stay in line. Gavin Hibbs in the lead.
And Jacob Adams already dropping straight back down low with a big send into turn 1, but Hibbs with the momentum around the outside. It's going to quickly stall out for the 48. Has to give Hibbs room, and keeping P1 is Gavin Hibbs, who did really, really well with that move to get past Jacob Adams. Jacob Adams initially electing to slot in down the front straight. I think clean air proving really to be king here with how aerodynamic these ARCA cars are. They generate a lot of turbulent air, which can really hurt your tires on the long run and really start to hurt your turning and your front downforce when you're in the wake of another car. And already Hibbs really stretching his legs a little bit out of the front, but that gap just completely disappears down the straight with how strong the slipstream is. But he has, I think, little to worry about at this exact point in the race. It does Gavin Hibbs. I do wonder if Jacob Adams may just stop behind him and potentially try and get away in a kind of tandem as they find themselves a couple tenths ahead of 3rd place. Jay Connor will have to wait and see as the field is starting to disparage ever so slightly, seeing now gaps of a couple tenths of a second between each individual car, and this is going to start to be where I think tyre wear, tyre conservation skills are going to start to really come into play here, and as well using the air, using what clean air you can potentially get on the nose of your car to try and put yourself in the best position possible. Still, so far, Gavin Hibbs leading the way. Adams with a run. Let's see if he takes it into 3. He's just going to push the 96, I should say, into turn 3.
Yeah, you mentioned tire wear. Talk about strategy a little bit here. These cars get somewhere around 38 laps on a full tank of fuel, and we went green again on, I believe, either lap 9 or 10. So these cars are close to be able to make it on one stop, but to do that you would have to be conserving pretty heavily, saving enough fuel to make it just about 40 laps per run. And I was a little surprised to see Hale Pocock not moving forward after pitting for those repairs, and I'm sure he would have taken tires as well. But I think he might be going for that heavier save to try and one-stop this race. If it goes green all the way, that would put him in a pretty strong position relative to these guys up at the front that are going much more all out and burning that extra bit of fuel that would stop them from being able to one-stop this.
Yeah, especially when I look at the likes of Jay Connor, who now, as we see the scoring pylon, does take the lead of the race. He's got clean air on his nose. That means his car is doing more work to do the same amount of speed. So the slipstream, of punching a hole in the air for the cars behind you, they are achieving more top speed with less drag. So that's really going to help even the likes of Justin Van der Merwe and Caleb Puma as well, the other Championship 4 drivers, they are also in big drafting packs where even, you know, halfway down the straight, they are they're putting up full throttle almost at any point in the lap here. See Justin Van der Merwe tucked up behind Jaden Racines, Caleb Puma tucked up behind Joshua Osborne, and Caleb Acosts got about 19 cars worth of slipstream in front of him as well. So I think all of these guys are going to be going for an aggressive save just to potentially split the race in half at the bare minimum, to try and make their saving job at the end of the race. In their second stint, where the field will be a lot more disparate, there'll be a lot less draft to work with, unless of course there is a caution. It makes that saving a lot more difficult. So I think especially if I'm someone like Kel Pocock, who's very much out of position after that first yellow, I'm looking to save as much fuel as I can and worry about track position later on in the running.
The only thing that makes me a little nervous about that is that with the way these cars are running so tight together in a pack, and there it is. It's a lot easier to bring out a yellow like that. That's Kel Pocock, another championship driver that has some significant damage after that contact. Have to see a replay of what happened there. But I think Caleb Puma may have been backing off to save like Caleb Pocock was. Caleb just manages to avoid contact with Puma there as well. But as we see here, yeah, it's Josh Osborne bending it into the corner and just getting into that left rear of Caleb Puma, turning him around, taking out Mitch Shavir as well. I don't think anyone else gets caught up in that for the most part. There's a little contact with Andrew Hardcastle, but that's going to be minor damage there. It's mainly the three cars of Caleb Puma, Mitch Shavir, and Joshua Osborne that get involved. Again, Caleb Pocock just barely avoiding contact with Puma there. Kind of a rough deal that both the cautions so far have involved our championship drivers, but this isn't going to be terminal damage for Caleb Puma. He will be able to repair this probably under this yellow, I would guess. I didn't see any contact with his wheels, which is where you would get the really big repair timers. It should just be that front bumper that needs to be replaced. So the pace laps here are a minute and a half, minute 45 long, so plenty of time to get repairs done under caution. So that should put him back in the fight here. But this does make it an easy one-stop race for everyone, and that's why we're seeing everyone come down pit road here. And again, there are plenty of tires, so everyone's going to take fresh tires, and we will see how this plays out from here. Kind of takes a lot of the strategy out, which is unfortunate, but kind of what happens when you've got those big packs. And now with the second caution, we'll hear from our series sponsor. This series is brought to you by RevLimit Workshop, your go-to for pulsating designs at unbeatable prices. Need a logo or a promo? Get yours for just $5. Want a full racing scheme that stands out? It's only $15. Contact us on Twitter to get your premium custom scheme today. And now we're just waiting on William Blake to return to give us his, and there is Will. What's your call on that incident?
That ended up being a tally for the 07 of Joshua Osborne for his contact with Caleb Puma. Just drove it in far too deep. He came off turn 2 and almost got himself wrecked off the nose of Andrew Hardcastle as well, coming down the track, I assume trying to follow the draft of Caleb in front of him as they were snaking down the back, in a little pack there. But got tucked up behind Caleb and just drove it in way too hot and got into the left rear of Caleb and beat up Caleb's car pretty good. That car is still running and has got left front damage, is what I can immediately see, but he is still running, thankfully, for this championship. I wouldn't want, I'm sure no one else would want, a championship to be taken like that from him completely out of his own control. So he's still in the fight here for 59.
Yeah, and I was just talking about, well, while you were gone that this kind of takes away that element of strategy of saving to the end to make it a one-stop. Makes it an easy one-stop for everyone here, with everyone coming down pit road, taking fresh tires. Um, do you think that this is going to get more crazy from here since we don't have people like Kale Pocock or Kelpikemer trying to save to make it a particular strategy?
I think so. Combine that with the fact we've got Jay Connor fighting for the championship, leading the race. We've got Justin Van der Merwe, who is qualified out of position, of course, trying to make his way to the front. Kel Pocock and Caleb Pakuma, who have been involved in their own separate accidents out of their control tonight already. They're way out of position in 17th and 22nd. They're going to want to get up front now with no fuel saving. There's only 65 laps to go. That can go by in a flash if we stay green. And green is now out, and it's the black and green car leading the way. Jay Connor does get a good restart, 2/10 clear of KOR teammate Gavin Higgins with Harrison Talon in P3. But yeah, this could get quite feisty with Harrison Talon with his Houdini magic there. Out of turn 2 there, but his car now remains solid, hopefully, for the rest of the race.
We had a little bit of a stack up on that restart. Caused the back 10 cars or so to lose a bit of time to these front 15. As Connor Thompson gets in the wall off of 4, making cars swerve down on exit to avoid contact with him, but everyone does avoid him. He will lose a lot of time from that and a lot of momentum. Really going to suffer there. As we've got Kel Pocock trying to work his way up on the bottom, 3 wide with Corey Abbott and Joe Francis right now. And not really getting a whole lot out of running on the bottom there with that lack of momentum off the corner. But if he continues to try to work the bottom, if he moves to the top at all, we've seen people have more success moving forward. But Jay Connor, strong run up at the front. His, I believe, teammate in Gavin Higgins right behind him. Jacob Adams sending it really deep into turn 1.
That's a send.
Very
nice.
Looked to be a slide job attempt, but does not slide all the way up as he was not at all remotely clear. But that does get him in front of Gavin Higgins, which will make it easier for him to make another send in potentially the next corner and try to clear Jay Connor that way. But if he keeps trying that, he's going to melt the tires off that car in a hurry.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the run now, though. He's going to push Jay Connor down the straight here. Just to give him, we're topping out 200 miles an hour for Jay Connor going into turn 1. These might be younger cars, but these cars are quick when they are drafting off of each other like this. Sub 40-second lap times all the way around for everyone here. I think Adams potentially trying to push himself and Jay with maybe a few corners clear of Jay Connor before trying another slider. As you say, Alayton, those will melt the tires if you try and do them too many times in quick succession. The heat and the wear will get to that right front tire. But now with a push from Higgins, Adams has a run. He's going to push Jay Connor. They all get a little bit stacked up going into turn 1, and here comes Adams with the send. Can he get the move done? Not quite clear. Connor with the momentum around the high side. The 48 has to back out of it. That's going to give the 20 and the 1 quite the drafting run down the back straight. And here comes Gavin Higgins trying to get the move done. Jay Connor's going to give him a little bit of slipstream. Teammates working together there. I don't know if the 20 is going to clear the 48. He's going to get actually side by side for the race lead here with his teammate. He's made that slider work incredibly well. Has Gavin Higgins. We'll see if he can slot in behind his teammate. Adams has too much of a run this time.
Yeah, immediately off the corner, it looked like Gavin got a good enough run to stay equal with Jay Connor, but just down the straight. I guess it could have just been the push from Jacob Adams, the arrow push. Did not have the momentum to stay alongside Jay Connor or even Jacob Adams. So that bottom line is not working for people very well. And Hale is still at the back of this front pack. He is up towards the top side of that now, but He's along with Gavin Hibbs there. Not sure why Gavin is so far back, but
Well, here comes Harrison Talon with the move to the outside of Jay Connor. Quite incisive from the number 1 car there to get to the right rear of Jay. And that might spell trouble for Jay Connor. He might lose third here as well. He's got championship rival Justin Vandermeer behind him. This is the fight for the championship lead, and it's going to change hands for the first time tonight, potentially. Justin Vandermeer with a big send down to the bottom. He takes the lead of the championship for now, but Jay Connor's got a big draft in front of him. He might snatch it right back down the front straight.
again, just no momentum off the corner, exiting on the bottom. It easily takes that position back from Vandermeer. These guys are going to have to start making passes on the top, or they're just not going to stick. Unless you can clear and get in front of the car you're passing before corner exit, it's just not going to... I don't think you can complete a pass that way otherwise.
Yeah, I think this is the point where the tyres are starting to degrade as well, but it's becoming almost a necessity to run the high line, so it's making those tyres wear more. And if the only place you can get a pass done is around the high side, everyone's going around the high side, because you have to try and get a slide job done. And in these massive packs, where because of the aero, everyone is packed up together, that's Carlos Acosts back in 17th place, only a second and a half off the race lead. The slide jobs could well end badly. So that is kind of what frightens me at the moment in terms of keeping a green flag run going here. Adams really is the only one who's actually made a slide job work. He had beautiful send, gotten about 2/10 clear of Jay Connor for the race lead a handful of laps ago, and he is using it to great effect here. But already are seeing everyone fan out 4-5 wide nearly down the front straight, just trying to...
Yeah, Jaden had a big wiggle off of 4, make cars gather to avoid him. But no contact made. Everyone keeps it together.
Contact
there was
with
contact with Vandermeer. I don't think there would be any damage from that. It looked pretty minor, just enough to upset the car. Vandermeer looked to not... contact between Chris Hauser and Cale Pocock, but Cale keeps it going straight on the apron. Those tires are hot. He's fighting it. He's going to lose this lead pack. That's going to be a big problem for him unless he can get that speed back up. And I think he's been trying to save tire at the back, so he may have enough speed to get to the back of the pack, but it's going to be tough with no draft. He is just over a second back from the pack. He might be able to get enough air to get caught back up, but that is not what Cale wanted to see there. A little bit of contact just throws his race out the window right now.
Yeah, they are making this championship fight super difficult. Whoa! Harrison Talon almost gets sent into the safer barrier. I think a bit of a miscommunication with the draft, and that's going to cost Jay Connor the championship lead here. Justin Vandermeer is going to send it low on both KOR drivers and on his teammate Harrison Talon. He might get the slider done in front of the 20. He does. Higgins dives low to try and counter-attack, but Connor nowhere to be seen. Justin Vandermeer now leads the Development Series Championship with just over 50 laps to go.
Yeah, if this goes green to the end, I think we have a two-car fight here. I don't know that...
Oh!
Never mind, every time I say something.
Oh, that is a big one.
Big hit for Gavin Hibbs. He's not going to get the win here tonight with that kind of damage. I think that right front is now detached from the car, so it's probably going to be race over for him.
Wow.
Corey Abbott saying that he has a good view of that wreck once we start doing some replays there.
That was nasty. Hibbs just trying to save it, comes back up the track. I think it was Frank Foti he hit. I don't think Frank Foti was lifting because it was all happening exit stage left, and all of a sudden Hibbs was up in front of him. That was a massive impact for the pair of them. They are both done for this race. I'm assuming that was Frank. Whoever he hit hard. Oh, Frank's an 8th, so it won't be Frank. Maybe Chris?
Looks like what happens here is that we were 3 wide with Gavin Hibbs, Kendall Noah Player, and Jay Connor. And I think Gavin gets a little loose, and that sends him down into Kendall, and then both of those cars just go out of control. Hibbs snaps back up, hits Frank Fodi in the door, then gets hit by Jaden Racimus, and I believe that's the bulk of the contact that was made there. Just those 3 cars really involved for potential damage. I don't think Jaden will be too hurt. I don't think Frank Fodi will be too hurt, but Gavin Hibbs, his race is probably over with that damage. I think this would probably be a good time for a commercial break, Carlos, if you have one ready.
Yeah, we can go for a quick commercial break.
Of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
All right, and we are back. 1 to green, and William is back as well.
Harrison's having issues.
What's your call on that?
That was called a racing incident between Gavin and Kendall there. That was just an unfortunate 3-wide deal. They both picked their lanes fairly early on, and they were both, I think, aware of each other. You know, they were running the same lane pretty much the entire corner. Neither of them really divert too much. Kendall comes, I think, a little bit up, Gavin a little bit down. They just converge, and it's the merest of touches, but it just upsets both their cars enough to cause that calamitous accident that's unfortunately taken Gavin Hibbs completely out of the race, and I think Jaden Racimus as well, and potentially Frank Foti. So, yeah, really unfortunate, but I couldn't assign blame to either one of them. That's just racing, I think.
Oh yeah, Jaden's still missing the entire front end of his car. More substantial damage than I thought he had, but it was a pretty good hit onto the 96 of Gavin Hibbs that he had. But we are coming back to the green flag here. Harrison Talon in the lead, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't adjust your TV set.
Does not get a whole lot of a jump there, but has to get a bump from Vandermeer to kind of get moving. But does clear Jacob Adams on the outside into turn 1. Justin Vandermeer also going to probably be able to move up in front of Jacob Adams. No, he hesitates. That gap is no longer open. So Jacob will be able to challenge into turn 3. Vandermeer does get a bump from Gavin Higgins that he's going to turn into a dive on Harry. He's going to slide right up in front and complete that pass. Justin Vandermeer up into the lead here. Might be his first lap led, but also in the lead for the championship here.
Yeah, definitely some fueled up teamwork going on there. You saw Harrison Talon drop down partway through the back straight to give his teammate a little bit of draft, gave him a few extra thousandths, and that what allowed him to have the impetus to make that move on both Jacob and on Harrison. Harrison conceding the race lead for the moment, fueled up now 1 and 2, and with Harry giving a little bump to his teammate up at the point. Vandermeer now has full control of this championship fight with just over half the race to go. Jay Connor sits in 6th, Kel Pocock in P11, Caleb Bakuma down in 17th. So everyone in the Championship 4, still within 2 seconds. Everyone in the Championship 4 still has a dog in the fight. No one is out of the race yet, no one is out of the fight. They are all still very capable of winning this championship, but in a race that is so evidently clean air dominant, where aero is everything, track position is everything, you'd have to say Justin Van der Merwe sitting pretty at the moment.
Yeah, that caution really did a lot to kind of bail out both Cale Pocock and Caleb Pekumer. Pekumer still had that damage to his left front that he wasn't able to finish repairing under the previous yellow. But now I believe he should have a clean car, and Cale Pocock, after that contact with Pierce Hauser, is back with the pack and looks to be racing a bit more aggressively than he was in the previous run, up to 10th place right now. Justin Van der Merwe continued to stay in the lead. Jake Connor running in 5th or 6th place. He's side by side with Joe Francis right now. Going to be 5th down the backstretch. Does get that run out of the corner. And then immediately loses it into turn 3 with Joe Francis going for a bit of a dive. Jacob Adams, up into the lead in front of Justin Van der Merwe. If I'm Van der Merwe at this point, I'm just going to let Jacob have it. Jacob Adams is racing for nothing but the win here. Van der Merwe has the championship to concern himself with, and as long as he's in front of Jay Connor, Cale Pocock, and Caleb Pekumer, that's all that he needs to care about.
Yeah, that's sort of the luxury of getting yourself into this championship 4. You go from having 25 other dudes to worry about to just 3. So Justin Van der Merwe, I'm sure, wouldn't give a monkeys if he finishes second right now, as long as it's ahead of those other 3. And he's got Harrison Talon and his teammate behind him, helping him all the way. And that is going to give him the impetus to give a big send down to the inside of Jacob Adams. But Jacob Adams has nailed on those slide jobs beautifully. No one has been able to replicate them thus far in this race. But Van der Merwe able to slot back in front of his teammate Harrison Talon as the shot behind them is involving Cale Pocock. Again, Cale Pocock involved in another incident. That's his 3rd today. Colbert, Pierce Hauser involved as well. And it just gets harder and harder for Cale Pocock. Every time he gets in position, he finds himself once again pegged back.
Yeah, that's a significant body damage there. It doesn't look like there was too much wheel damage that would have come from that, but you never quite know with the physics here. Colbert just up against Brent Jones in the wall. And that causes him to overcorrect out right into the right rear of Cale Pocock. It sends Cale around. Contact with Pierce Hauser, potentially into that right front. He could have a decent amount of wheel damage here, but it could have just hit the door. Again, one of those things that's really hard to tell, but that contact with Pierce, twice contact with Pierce on the front right and the left rear on the number 6 of Cale Pocock. We'll have to see what kind of damage he has to repair, what kind of repair time he has from that damage. But I'm concerned about Pocock's tires at this point. With that kind of slide, he almost would need to. He would almost need to get fresh tires again, but I don't know if he can afford it. But if we want to take another commercial break here, these yellows getting our sponsors lots of airtime.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down.
All right, we are back. Just took the 1 to green. The Dale Pocock machine is mostly clean. He does still have a little bit of right front damage on his bodywork, but nothing that's like directly in the airflow. So he'll be a little slower than a clean car, but not anything drastic, I believe. But he's going to be looking for another caution here, hopefully not involving him, but you never know. Needs to get a little bit more repair time to get himself back in this championship fight. Hilbert Humer is his car is completely clean again, and he's running up in 10th place. Jay Connor in 5th, and Justin Van der Merel in 2nd. Jacob Adams is the leader and opted to take the outside on the restart, so that is why Van der Merel is on the inside as the 2nd place car.
Yeah, the outside has been the preferred lane so far.
And Will, now that you're back, you want to give a call on that incident?
Yeah, so that, as we come to the green here, that tally went to the 17 of Colbert for that last incident. Just got up into the 89 of Brent Jones and overcorrected down into the 6 of Cal Pocock and spun the 6 around, and that is what caused your yellow. So it was a fairly rudimentary call, nothing too nuanced about it. So the tally went to the 17 for that last wreck.
Now fighting for the lead, we've got Gavin Higgins sliding up in front of Jacob Adams. Those two are both non-championship contenders, so all they care about is the win. I expect to see the two of them really kind of going at it. These front 9 cars, well, I guess it was 10, did not pit for tires. They have been out for, this is now their 12th lap since their last pit stop. But yeah, we're going to have some tire differentials here, starting with Joe Francis. Actually, Joe did not take tires, just fuel. Connor Thompson will be the first car on fresh tires. So we'll see if he is able to make some progress up through the field as these tires get back up to temp and the wear that these lead cars have kind of reasserts itself. But side-by-side championship fight contenders here. Justin Van der Merel and Jay Connor. Connor does complete the pass. Van der Merel slides up in front of his teammate Harrison, letting him up, backing off to give him that opening to get back in line. But Jay Connor, once again, the lead championship driver here in this race.
Yeah, this is probably the lowest that a leading Final Four car has been. They were briefly fighting for P4, and they now fight for P3, as I think they've both worked their way around. Corey Abbott, who's dropped down now to P6. Still in the fight, though, he looks to the inside of Harrison Talon. Meanwhile, fighting again for the championship lead, Jay Connor and Justin Van der Merel. Jay Connor just about getting clear, but here comes Van der Merel again in just a moment with a push from Harrison Talon. Van der Merel will be coming back again with a full head of steam, but Connor himself pulling up to his teammate Gavin Higgins. So we've got Harrison Talon and Gavin Higgins sort of essentially playing as support roles for both of their teammates who are in the championship fight here, Jay Connor and Justin Van der Merel. So this is going to be really interesting to watch, and I'm sure their pushes and the moves as well between the pair fighting for the title is going to get ever more aggressive now that we run with under 40 laps to go and presumably only one more round of pit stops to come here, if this goes green the whole way, which with the first half of the race, I'm going to say it probably won't.
Yeah, when I won my championship, the championship race was also at Michigan, but that was in the old ARCA car, and it was much less of a pack race. So while we had green flag stops and long runs, it was because cars weren't on top of each other the entire run, and that is not the kind of racing that we're seeing here with these new ARCA cars right now. I would be honestly surprised if we make it to the end without at least one more caution, probably multiple.
Yeah.
We've had enough now with enough pit stops that I am not sure what people's tire situation looks like. Coming into this, it looked like we were going to have tons of tires. Jacob Adams gets in the wall, loses a ton of momentum off of turn 2 there. He's going to fall back towards the bottom of the top 10 as cars just warm past him, losing all kinds of ground. But he is on the top side. He will be looking to move back forward. As we talked about, he only cares about that win in this race. Now we're 3 wide. Justin Vandermeer, Jay Connor, Harrison Talon. Expect Jay Connor to come out ahead of Vandermeer at least on this situation. Probably ahead of Harrison as well. He will slide up in front of Harry on exit here, almost certainly to secure second position. And right behind teammate Gavin Higgins, he would not be upset about giving this win to his teammate if that means he can just stay in line and get a tow and stay ahead of all of his other championship contenders.
Well, I say he's got an extra person now to worry about. The person we were just riding on board with, Caleb Pacuma, ended up being right on the back of Justin Vandermeer at one point, just one lap ago. He falls back a bit now, just almost out of the top 10 already. Such is the pack racing we're seeing today. The entire top 10 that you're seeing, just within 3/4 of a second as we come down the end of the straights here. So it's really, really, really packed up. As you see, Vandermeer's already gone down now to P6. Andrew Hardcastle now back into the top 5 after a stellar qualifying effort that we saw from him. We got him up briefly, fighting for the race lead. He takes back P6. Vandermeer, though, with a big slider on Jacob Adams. He's going to get that move done. 2-for-1 deal for Justin Vandermeer. He is now up to P4, and again, that gives Jay Connor something to think about because he's now right on the back of that number 9 car.
Yeah, and Jacob Adams pushing him into the corner gets Jay really loose. That's going to heat up those tires. It's going to make it hard for Jay to maintain momentum. But he does keep it straight. And Justin Vandermeer alongside Gavin Higgins for the lead. Getting a little messy, contentious for that championship lead. As teammates, Gavin Higgins isn't going to give him a lot of space there either.
I think Justin Vandermeer
going to lap down. I think Dale's championship hopes are over at this point with how this race has gone for him. A lot of bad luck here for that number 6
totally out of his control as well. But he is in a position to get a lucky dog as long as he stays ahead of Chris Albrecht. And I have no doubt it'll be yellow. He has time as well to get that car fixed. He's not out of it just yet, but he has had the most rotten luck. Absolute rotten luck. He has been involved in 3 accidents, none of which were his own making. He qualified well, tried to save, went conservative, which wasn't a bad strategy at all. But it just didn't work, and it's... Well, yeah, you have to feel for him, because, I mean, Justin Vandermeer, Jay Connor, probably been the 2 quickest cars, I would say, in terms of pure race pace. They've been up in front all night long, but... I mean, Kale, I think, would have been up there towards the end of the race. I think with how conservative he was being, I think he was kind of saving it all for the end. So it's disappointing that at least as we run, we won't get to see that, but hopefully that changes. Because I'd like for all 4 of them to be in contention at the end, but we saw already almost another championship 4 contender getting wiped out. Justin Vandermeer pulling absolutely no punches with fighting Jay Connor to get to the point, and he is absolutely bolted away from the rest of the field now.
Yeah, this that's a lot bigger gap that Justin Vandermeerl has gotten than I would have expected to see at any point during this race. But that's going to close up real quick. Gavin Higgins and Andrew Hardcastle uh, going up into second place. They're already almost on the bumper of Vandermeerl again, but off the corner. Vandermeerl catches the wall, going to lose a little bit of momentum, but will still comfortably have the lead into turn one. But yeah, that gap that he had is effectively gone now.
Yeah, that's
But Andrew Hardcastle having a good run here, up in third place now. Dominic Wright as well. And Corey Abbott. All those Abbott guys right in line on the bottom there. 4th through 7th-ish. Just Cale Pocock, the one that needs to be up at the front, got left out of that group.
Yeah, the three-peat for Abbott Motorsports kind of slipping by the wayside. 2 in a row was impressive enough. So I think we can take that, but I think the chance for a three-peat, I mean, still possible, but with Cale now a lap down, really out of zone control, he's been quick. He doesn't deserve to be a lap down by any stretch of the imagination, so really disappointing for him thus far. But of course, 27 laps, anything can change. And it probably will. So I don't think any one of these guys are resting on their laurels, but Justin Vandermeerl now leads this race after having really assertively moved Jay Connor out of the way. And that will have... I think Jay was a little bit upset after that. And I think there may well be some fireworks if the 9 ever gets back to that number 80 car. But we'll have to wait and see. The pack now starting really to spread apart here. I think tyres are now starting to go off on some of these front cars, and I think the best tyre savers are starting to work their way forward now. Justin Vandermeerl again, just about half a second in front. The only thing really keeping Gavin Higgins in contention for now is the aero push from Jacob Adams and the slipstream he is getting from Justin Vandermeerl in the lead.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised still that these front cars aren't packed more tightly together. I'm a little curious what's changed all of a sudden for that to be the case here. They are, that is true. I was just about to say they are 26 laps into this run here up at the front. Connor Thompson, as the most recent, or as the car on freshest tires, his are already 17 laps old, and he's still back in 12th place. So tire wear may not be as big of a factor, at least early in a run, as I had thought, but they're deep enough in it now that Vandermeerl has apparently been able to conserve his stuff well enough to kind of counteract a lot of the effect of the draft that has been so overpowering in these cars.
Definitely, but still ebbing and flowing a lot. Gavin Higgins now, I mean, we saw as much as 7/10 of a second for Justin Vandermeerl. Now just a couple of tenths again, and I think we're getting to about that time with how strong the slipstream is. I think we may well see some snaking start to go on. Maybe not now, but I think getting towards maybe 15, 10 to go, if we're still fighting for the lead the way that we are, if we're still packed up in the way that we are, we could well see some real bad snaking here. So Justin Vandermeerl now, giving the toe to Jacob Adams, but no avail this time. And here comes Higgins to now snatch the lead from Justin Vandermeerl, and don't look now, but Jay Connor is now back to the rear of that number 80 car. We could well see fireworks for the championship here.
Yeah, there were almost 2 right rears right there, with first Vandermeerl into Gavin Higgins, and then Jay Connor into Vandermeerl. And Jacob Adams still right there as well, just right on that left rear of Vandermeerl off the corner, but enough gap left there to avoid contact. As they're coming up on that 6 of Cale Pocock, going down another lap, I'm afraid to say that is probably the nail in the coffin for his hopes this season, which is definitely unfortunate. But very close race up here between Vandermeerl and Jay Connor. It's kind of been the two of them all race with the struggles that the two Calebs have had early on in this run, but Humor is still there, just behind, a couple cars behind Jay Connor, but has not made the move to get up in the midst of that fight, which with 22 to go and a pit stop left, I can't really fault him for that. It's looking like a kind of dangerous place to be with how close these front cars are running sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. As we've mentioned, there's still a pit stop still to go. Whether that happens under green or under yellow, these guys will not make it to the end as things run on fuel.
We're wide.
Flag pit stop beckoning now. 4 wide. Oh, that might end badly. Oh, there goes Dylan Havere to the bottom. That's Jacob Adams, Jay Connor, Andrew Hardcastle, and Dylan Havere. 4 wide coming out of turn 4, and that almost ended in absolute tears. But thankfully, we stay clean, stay green. We've been quite acclimated to 3 wide so far tonight, but I think 4 wide we've really only seen sort of when accidents happen or nearly happen. We haven't quite gone 4 wide off our own volition yet, but we're late enough in the running now. I think we can start to see potentially some more 4 wide action. But Justin Van der Merwe now leads this race. He's gotten back ahead of Gavin Higgins with 20 laps to go. Higgins, Adams, Abbott in between the 80 and the 9. That is exactly what Justin Van der Merwe wants to see. As many cars between himself and the rest of his Championship 4 contenders as is humanly possible. Colbert about to go a lap down here, and that's going to be horrible news for Kel Pocock, because that means his lucky dog will be gone just about now, as Colbert does go 1 lap down. So unless Kel Pocock can catch and overtake Colbert with 28 laps to go here, he will not
You'll have to
get
pass
the
him
lucky
twice.
dog. So it really does not seem to be going all too well for Kel Pocock, and it's tough to see because it was completely out of his control.
Yeah, Jay Connor has gotten rid of one of those cars between him and Justin Van der Merwe and Corey Abbott, but still with Jacob Adams and Gavin Higgins, those are 2 guys that will really fight you for every position that they have. And if I'm Jay Connor, those are the last 2 guys I want to see between me and the guy that I really need to pass, because they are not going to make it easy. Off of turn 2 just now, we had a little bit of contact between Kilpick Humor and Harrison Talon, but nothing significant. Both of them kept it 20 straight, no major wall contact or anything. Just close racing there. And yeah, this is looking pretty good for Justin Van der Merwe right now. If I had to choose any of these championship drivers' cars to jump into right now to take for the rest of the race, it would absolutely be Justin Van der Merwe. I think he's probably saved his tires better than the others. Kilpick Humor, I'm not sure. He's kind of been just riding, and not sure what his plan is, but these guys are going to have to pit here at some point in the next 10 laps. Not sure exactly when. And that is the last thing that Justin Van der Merwe wants to see. Both Gavin Higgins and Jacob Adams going past him, and now side by side in front of him with Jay Connor right on his bumper. Kind of the reverse potential of what happened when Van der Merwe passed Jay Connor the last time was setting up there, but Van der Merwe going for that move back to get around Gavin Higgins, does clear up in front, does get that buffer back. I did forget earlier that Gavin Higgins is Jay Connor's teammate. He won't fight him as hard as he would other people if it means getting his teammate to the championship, but I don't think we're quite to that point where he would give it up that easily.
Oh, that is shiesty. Caleb Pukuma and Jacob Adams leaning on each other. Jay Connor on the higher side. They are starting to get shiesty for every possible position in the championship here. Coming out at turn 2, the 59 and the 48, literally door rubbing each other. Jacob Adams saying he's trying to take care of the pair of them, but not being given a lot of room. I don't think there really is a lot of room to be given when you're fighting for a championship, but that's not what Caleb wants to see. Corey Abbott pushing Jay Connor all the time down the front straight, and that is going to get him a good few tenths clear of Caleb Pekuma, so he still sits third in the championship. 15 to go as we run, and they are coming up on Harrison Talon, who has somehow nearly gone a lap down.
Talon is pulling away. He went down pit road, got some 4 fresh tires for his last stop. Joined in between the battle for third place, and has in one corner gone from essentially third place position to the lead and is pulling away.
So Harrison Talon coming into the pits, that would explain why he finds himself nearly a lap behind the leaders. That's really good of Harrison Talon. Honestly, I don't hate the idea of pitting now, because even if there's a caution a couple laps after I come in, I'm good on track position, I'm good on tyres. Tyre wear doesn't seem to be that big an issue. I'd come down now, because I think even if we have a caution, 5 to go, I'm chilling with tyre wear, but that's Kenny Moore player. Almost having some issues further back in this lead pack, but fighting up at the front, Justin Vandermeer still holding the lead with Gavin Higgins, Corey Abbott, and Jay Connor fighting for second place behind them. And there's Justin Vandermeer ducking both sides, trying to break the draft. Connor with a big shove to his teammate Gavin Higgins, trying to get up towards that Red Bull car.
I think Frank Fodi and Harrison Talon Harrison Talon may have made the call that wins this race for him by pitting right now. If it goes green long enough that they have to pit before the yellow comes out, Harry's going to have a huge gap from this undercut, and they're not going to have a whole lot of laps to make up that time as they come down pit road right now. Jacob Adams leading the way. Corey Abbott, Dominic Wright, a couple others behind that I can't quite see. Andrew Hardcastle probably, yeah.
Javier, Adams, Wright, Hardcastle.
Gavin Higgins calling out that he's going to pit. Caleb Pekuma also calling out that he's going to pit. So this is now your front three in the championship. Vandermeer has time to react to that. Let's see if he does. Caleb Pekuma obviously has to call out that he's pitting because there are cars around him, I think. But if he's by himself, he wouldn't want to call that out.
Yeah,
Vandermeer pit, all three of them pit.
Dominic
so
Wright, black flag exiting pit road.
On pit road that you'll ever see. So this is going to be the money stop.
Yeah, Justin Vandermeer had no choice but to pit that lap. If I was Jay Connor and Caleb Pekuma, I would not have called that out so early. Because if they had gotten into pit road even a lap before Vandermeer, they would have jumped him on track easily. But pitting together, Vandermeer should be able to maintain that gap over them that he had. He does not get a very good stop though. He has Caleb Pekuma right on his bumper. I don't know if Pekuma just had a fantastic stop or what, but yeah, Dominic Wright did have that speeding penalty or an unsafe exit, not sure which, but he is having to serve a drive-through penalty for doing that instead of a hold. But that still is going to ruin his race here. But Harrison Talon right now leading by, he's not leading yet. There's cars that have not pit yet, but he is ahead of Jacob Adams by about 4 seconds. There is time for Jacob potentially catch him, but not a lot. He's going to have to be making up a half second a lap, which is possible. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this plays out, but Harrison may have made the race-winning move here with that early pit stop.
I think he has. I'm honestly surprised we didn't see guys ducking down sooner. That was a stroke of genius from Harrison Talon. Justin Vandermeer gets the move done on Jacob Adams. He now finds himself with a championship lead with a car in between himself and Caleb Pekuma. So Pekuma now up to second in the championship. He's got the trophy in sight here now with just 8 laps to go. Harrison Talon nearly 3-4 seconds in front here at Michigan with just 7 laps to go. When they get to the line, here comes Connor Thompson down pit road.
He crashed. He has a meatball.
Connor Thompson with a meatball, apparently.
That's what I'm being told.
He does have a
I see a
meatball.
meatball. His car
Zero
looks
percent.
fine.
Is he? I think he's blown a tire. Is he 0%ed?
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
he's blown
visible
his pit
damage,
box.
so yeah, it had to be a blown tire.
Oh wow! I've only ever done that once. So
Well, that would explain why he wasn't catching the cars on the precious tires. He was melting them off the car first.
yeah, wow. A blown
Joe
tire.
Francis, Brent Jones, Kendall player, Dave Huckleberry still on track. Not sure how long those front three are going to be able to go here, but something's a little weird. Is the scoring power correct right now?
Scoring tower should
yes,
be
it is.
correct.
Yeah, Joe Francis does lead this race.
Oh, I'm looking
with
at thank
6 to
God.
go.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Joe Francis has been out for 37 laps. He shouldn't have more than 2 to 3 laps of fuel, I don't think.
Make it.
If he can make it to the end, that's a hero run right there.
Yeah. Same with everyone behind him. I think Harry will catch Huckleberry before the end of this race with how fresh Harry's tyres are. I do wonder if maybe the front 4 are waiting for potentially yellow. They are eking every last drop to potentially go, alright, there's a yellow. I'm going to come down pit road now, not lose a lot of time, and have slightly fresher tyres, but I don't think that's the play if I am any one of these guys. Still, the fight for the championship now really heating up with 5 laps to go. Justin Vandermeer just a hair ahead of Jay Connor. This is now where it starts to get just a little bit heated here, as now with 5 to go for the championship fall. This is Jay Connor now makes the move down to the inside. We may well see a slider. We may well see fireworks here between these two. They are not averse to any bumping and banging for the championship lead. They are still absolutely neck and neck here. We'll see if Jay retaliates from Justin's previous bump and run earlier. They are absolutely neck and neck, nothing to separate them. 48 given a shove to the 80. Will Justin Vandermeer get the slide job done? Yes, he will. 4 to go now in this race for the championship. And Justin Vandermeer now ducking low, trying to give some slipstream to the 48, trying to get a car in between himself and the 9. The 9 side drive from the 48, trying to suck him back. Caleb Pacuma in the fight as well. This is the 3 highest ranked drivers in the championship now, all on top of each other with just 3.5 laps to go.
Vandermeer did not go hard enough in turn 1 there. That let Jay Connor stay alongside all the way through the corner. And with that higher line, he gets the run off the corner to take that lead, championship lead. Are we going to see contact between these guys again? They're coming up on Harrison Talon really quick. They've got the draft from him now, so it's going to make it a lot more difficult for Justin Vandermeer to get the pass back on Jay Connor, with both of them having the benefit of the draft. But I think... Oh, that's not even Harrison Talon. He's got another car. That's Frank Fodi in between them and Harrison Talon. With 2 to go, I think Harry's got this race won, as long as he doesn't make any substantial mistakes. But the
They're closing
big thing
in.
here is this race between the 9 and the 80, those championship contenders. Where is Caleb Pacuma at? He's right behind them. But 3 of the championship drivers just almost nose to tail right now, taking the white flag right now.
Not quite. This is 2 to go for the championship 4. Joe Francis come around now. He's staying out, as is Brent Jones. I think they're going to make it. White flag for Joe Francis in the 56 for the race win. But for the championship, this is now 1.5 laps to go. That's the top of your 3-wide TV multicam. Harrison Talon leads Jay Connor, leads Justin Vandermeer. Jay Connor, as things run, will be the champion. Justin Vandermeer with a big send into turn 3. It's going to be white flag now for the championship 4, but on the bottom of your screen, Joe Francis with an absolute hero run into 3 and 4 for the final time. Brent Jones can't quite get there. and through 3 and 4 for the very last time. Joe Francis is going to take the win at Michigan. But look at the top of your 3YTV multicam. This is the fight for the championship. They're side by side on the final lap. Coming down the back straight, Jay Connor might well just get the run ahead of Justin Vandermeer. Vandermeer now with momentum back, with a push from his teammate Harrison Talon into 3 and 4 for the final time for the championship. Both these drivers with everything their cars can give them. Vandermeer is going to give them the run out of turn number 4. Jay Connor can't get there. Justin Vandermeer is going to win the Development Series Championship in 2025B by just 1/10 of a second over Jay Connor, less than 2/10 over Caleb Pacuma. But Joe Francis with an absolute hero run, as well as Brent Jones and Kendall Noah player. They lock out the podium. Our champion only comes home 4th.
Okay, I've got 2 things. I did not give Joe Francis, Brent Jones, and Kendall No Player enough credit. I did not think they were going to have enough to make it to the end there. And I completely discounted them and thought it was going to be Harry in the lead. But big kudos to all 3 of those guys for making that work. That was a big fuel save, making it all the way to the end there.
Another one
to
quickly add, before you get to your second one, is that Huckleberry was also on that strategy, and he ran out of fuel right at the end, but he still got a top 10 out of it.
Oh,
yeah, very solid run for Huck as well with the top 10. But the second thing, Justin Vandermeer owes that championship to Caleb Pacuma. He gave a big bump to Harrison coming out of turn 2 on that last lap, and that let Harry give the bump to Vandermeer to give him the momentum to get back in front of Jay Connor to get that championship win. That was... Caleb could have bumped Jay Connor instead, but if I'm Jay, I'm a little salty about that, but that's a great finish for a championship.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what a podium as well. Joe Francis, Brent Jones, and Kendall Noah player. My heart breaks a little bit for Brent Jones. Many starts counting yet for victory number 1, and he's half a second short this time. So that's going to sting for Brent, but what a run for those 3. Joe Francis started 25th. Brent Jones started 12th. Kendall Noah player started 15th, and they are your podium finishers for this championship race.
Let's look at the results, and then we can talk to your top 3 and then your champion.
All right, so taking the race win, Joe Francis in second place. Brent Jones, I think the best run he's had all season here in the ARCA series. Kendall Noah player in third. Justin Vandermeer with that championship win in 4th, just ahead of Jay Connor in 5th. Harrison Talon 6th. Caleb Pacuma, 3rd of the championship drivers in 7th. Gavin Higgins in 8th. Jacob Adams in 9th. 10th is Dave Huckleberry. Corey Abbott just outside the top 10 on 11th. Andrew Hardcastle in 12th, Dylan Javier in 13th, Connor Thompson 14th, Dominic Wright in 15th, Austin Anabna in 16th, Frank Fody 17th, and 18th is Colbert. And the final championship driver was Cale Pocock in 19th. He may have rage crashed into pit road with about 6 laps to go. Chris Albrecht in 20th, Pierce Hauser 21st, Jaden Rosimus in 22nd. Getting into the damage casualties here. Gavin Hibbs 23rd, Mitch Javier in 24th, Josh Osborne 25th, and Kirk Gibson with the rough start to this race, putting him out in 26th. But we are going to go ahead and pull up our... Well, do we want to do the podium drivers or the championship driver first here, Will?
It's a good point. It's weird not having a champion even finish on the podium. I think we'll save the man of the hour till last. We'll start with our podium finishes and then get to our champion.
All right. Kendall, Alayton up in the booth. You got a copy? Your player? Are you there? All right. Well, we'll come back to him.
Brent. Yeah, let's try Brent, then go back to Kendall.
Will, you want to take Brent?
Absolutely. Brent Jones, it's Alayton and William in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, that is your best finish in any elite race for a long, long time. You must be proud of that second place finish there, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's been a long, winding road to get back to this point. You know, it's been over a year and a half since we finished this well in a race, at least.
Absolutely. And well, it was an absolute hero run alongside, obviously, yourself, Joe and Kendall there. But absolute hero run on that fuel. How did you make it? What did you do? Were we saving early? Were we clutching? What were we doing there, man? Because that was heroic stuff.
The old-fashioned way, lifting early and just easing back into it. But I was trying to keep ahead of that, stay in that pack, because I knew if I lose that pack, we were going to have no shot.
Was that a case of the draft then helping you more than anything else, getting into those corners and letting you lift off, save a bit of fuel there?
Contribution to that, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, obviously an amazing run there at P2. Do you think you had anything for Joe there? We saw you were about a tenth and a half off him at one point, thinking maybe you had a dog in the fight. Do you think you had anything for him? Anything you could have potentially done differently to get that first win?
Probably save a little bit more right front in the last run, because unless he ran out, there was no way I was going to pass him.
Absolutely. Well, anything from Alayton before we get onto the sponsors and shoutouts?
I think you pretty well covered it.
Brent, do you have any
Any
sponsors,
or
shoutouts?
shout-outs?
Absolutely. We got my mate Luis Gonzalez Moray. I don't know if he's watching tonight, but this one's for him. Been through some hard times lately. His sponsors on the card were on Knight and Cup for the first time this season. We also got to give a shout to Corey Abbott and his boys. You know, it wasn't easy, you know, the last month or so, but we're still good friends and still a good team to work with whenever possible. Shout to, I don't have a lot of sponsors yet. This has just been a patchwork effort for the last month.
This would be your pitch. Got a podium in a championship race.
Yeah,
With a heroic fuel run, there you go. Anyone wants to sponsor Brent Jones? About 1,000,001 starts in the league, man. He'll always be here, chugging along.
Yep.
Good stuff, though, Brent. Congratulations on that P2 finish. Hopefully, we're talking to you in the interview room more often in the future.
Yeah, I hope so too. I was actually kind of surprised.
You did a good job, man. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
All right, now I'm going to bring up Joe Francis. Joe, Layton up in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
First off, I want to give you kudos on that fuel saving run. To be honest, I did not give you enough credit there. I did not think you were going to make it to the end. How close was that on fuel?
Initially it was right on the line, probably maybe one lap short. But as we went on the run and started slowing down a little bit, and after I started saving, I kind of just hung out in the back of the pack because I figured they'd have to pit at some point. So I think hanging in the draft just in the back of the pack helped me out a lot. So towards the end of the run, once we finished the race, I think I had 2+ laps left. So it worked out pretty good.
So that wasn't bad at all. So did you think that you were going to be able to get a win here tonight with how this race is going, or do you feel like you had the pace to win outside of strategy, or how did that go for you?
It just depends on the track position at this track, just because it's such a restrictor plate style racing, but you still have to slow down the corners so much. It's hard to. I don't know. I feel like track position would help out a lot in this, and I feel like I could have the pace if I was up front and had the track position, but it's kind of a shot in the dark at that point.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked out for you. Made all the right calls to bring this from starting 25th, second to last, instead of qualifying time, to taking the win. About as close to a last to first challenge as you can do here.
Yeah, the darn wall came out of nowhere.
But definitely congratulations on that win. A very solid performance here tonight. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank or shout-outs you want to give?
Well, I don't think I had the correct paint scheme on because Trading Paints has not cooperated with me for like the last couple of months. But if you can see it on the broadcast,
I'm getting
assuming it's
mixed.
even on there. Well, I got a personal business, Numbers by Joe. If you got a favorite iRacing number, I can turn it into a plaque, put lights on it, make it look real nice. Custom painted, whatever you want. Just hit me up on Twitter, Joe24ever.
All right. I've seen some of those before, and they look great. So definitely something that you guys should look into. But that'll be, once again, congratulations on the win here, Joe, and good luck in the other series. And I believe you should still be eligible for next season. So will you be back for next season in ARCA?
We'll see.
All right. Well, lots of time before then, but good luck until then.
All right.
See you later.
Appreciate it.
All right, and now we will bring up Justin Vandermeer, our 2025B champion. And Will.
Hold on. Did we get Kendall?
He didn't come back after we moved him out.
Yeah, he's not here.
Okay, all right, we'll move
Justin
on then.
Vandermeer, 2025B Dev Series champion. How's that sound?
Sounds pretty good after the season we've had. Full of ups and downs, and a crazy race to cap it all off at that.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a bit of fireworks going on between you and Jay. We saw about 35 to go there. We thought maybe as you guys were coming down the back straight white flag, I thought this might get ugly, but you managed to hold him off. What do you think was sort of the biggest factor that got you this championship win tonight? Obviously, you had the three in front of you that managed to fuel save to the end and get about half a lap on you guys. So definitely, I suppose, glad for your sake that it wasn't one of the other three guys that managed to do that. But what do you think made the difference for you tonight?
The fuel was really interesting because I felt like I was probably the best car on the longer run. I think you could really see that towards the end of like when we pitted. Near around when we pitted, like I had way more center turn than a lot of people behind me, and I kind of just hovered in the lead at about 4 or 5 tenths. The one or the early stop, like the three ahead of me did, I don't think was really an option for us based on where we were running on the track. But yeah, just saving that little bit of tire. I'm sure you guys saw I was kind of on the bottom seam most of the race, just kind of trying to save my right front while everyone else was on the wall and pulling those slide jobs when you can, and I think that little bit right front tire made the big difference there at the end. So that was pretty cool to see.
Absolutely, and obviously, you had the right front tire there making the difference. But obviously, you were kind of behind Jay for a lot of that, especially in the early run when everyone was sort of packed up together. No one was really breaking apart. What was the sort of, I suppose, approach plan in that first half of the race? Were you just anticipating that eventually tire saving was going to work for you, or were you potentially a little bit worried that maybe track position was too important, you weren't going to get there?
The runs we got were kind of right in that middle ground, and you could start seeing the tire fall off. I just didn't want to push too crazy hard at the beginning, so that's why I kind of stayed behind everybody else. And unfortunately, Kale and Caleb, they got caught up in some early trouble and took them kind of out of the fight. But yeah, staying behind everybody, I think, helped me a little bit. Everybody really wanted that top lane, and I noticed anyway, they would get loose or really tight and have to lift out throttle on exit. So kind of just rolling that bottom seam, as I said, and holding it in there, and the slower pace lifting early and in dirty air definitely was a big factor in that as well.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go here to go celebrate with everyone your first Elite Series Championship, any sponsors, partners, shout outs you want to give for getting that number 80, some silverware this season?
I want to shout out everybody at Fueled Up Racing, so that includes owner Casey Hatch, Trey Holmes, who was crew chief for me this season. He does a tremendous job on pit strategy and telling me on when to back up, when to push. John Cutlip, I guess you could call him a sort of performance coach. We would run laps together all the time to get ready for these events. A big one tonight is that number 1 car in Harrison Talon, and we caught him at the perfect moment with 2 to go. to force that 3 wide move into turn 3 and get a massive push on the back was obviously a big turning point in that in winning the championship. So shout out to all those guys. Pro Edge Racing is a big help as well. We all know they hang out with us all the time. So Ethan and Matthew Weeks, Tate Lytle, David Tucker, Justin Wadsworth, they're all over there cheering me on. 2 guys that don't race in this series or don't race in Elite very often anymore, Ryan Schuld and Jordan Owens. You guys are awesome. Shout out to you watching. And I guess I shout out Red Bull every time I win a race, so shout out to them again. It's cool to win a championship in those colors at least. So hopefully it's not my last one, but we're going to keep plugging away at it.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again on championship number 1. Hopefully we'll have some more title interviews with you in the future. Congratulations, dude.
Thanks, Will.
All right, and that was once again just a very good finish to this season and this race. Any final thoughts, Will, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, definitely. It was an exciting race. It really kind of came to life at the end. We thought for all the world that Harrison Talon had made the move to win the race. You know, even he was multiple seconds ahead, I think, with as little as 4 to go. We kind of almost discounted Brent, Kendall, and Joe at the end there, somehow managing to save the entire way. So props to them, very deserving podium finishers. But Justin Vandermeer and Jay Connor, the title fight between them really came to a head there on the white flag, and I think Harrison Talon, I think single-handedly won Justin the championship with how hard that push was. I think that gave Justin just about enough room to clear the 9 and not give Jay away back in before the start-finish line. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe that was some like 200 IQ play that Justin would catch Harry just at the right time for Harry to give Justin a push right at the last. I don't know. But an incredible finish to what's been a really, really good season. All 4 of those championship contenders had every right to be there, and misfortune befalling Kel Pocock early doors kind of put pay to his hopes, but the rest of the 3 were right on top of each other right until the flag, so that was really awesome to see as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a hero sequence of bumps from Caleb Becumer to Harrison Talon to Justin Vandermeer to secure that championship. And just exactly the right timing for Justin, exactly the wrong timing for Jay. But yeah, definitely made for an exciting end to this race and to this season. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for us, though, for this RevLimit Workshop Development Series and for 2025B at least. And we will call it there and see you guys tomorrow night for the Cup series that I'm blanking on the sponsor name of, but that's okay. At the Red Bull Ring. I remember the track at least. But on behalf of William White and Carlos Acosta, thanks for joining us on the Elite Racing Network, and have a good night.
Also, don't forget, starting in about 20 minutes is the James Fun for Life charity race on this same channel. So tune in for a good cause. And well, I think we'll be seeing some of the drivers out there participating in that race.